Hi everyone, welcome back to Sonic and the Side Quests. It's the two-day event focused on the Sonic the Hedgehog series and the speedrun categories that involve doing more than just beating the game. Here in Sonic CD, we're not going to just be beating the game, we're going to be making a good future. And there's a couple of ways to do that. We're going to showcase both, but on either day. So the first showcase we're going to be doing is going to be All Good Futures, which involves, well, actually, I'm going to let Sonikku and Finalflame, our runner and commentator respectively, explain what All Good Futures means.
I'm assuming that's my cue. Hi.
That is
hello.
your cue. Hi.
Good morning or afternoon or evening or whichever time zone is most applicable to your location or whatever. Hi, I'm Sonikkustar. Yeah, so All Good Futures, it's pretty interesting. We're going to be showing off a bit more of the levels here. Should be fun. I'll get to more detail once we get started, but I think it might be good for me to introduce my co-commentator here, Finalflame.
Oh, that's me. Hi, everyone. You guys are in for a treat. This is an absolutely amazing category of an absolutely amazing game.
All right. I suppose we should get things started here. So do I do a countdown or?
Yes, please. We are ready on time.
All right. Let's see. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so yeah, Sonic CD. I'm sure most of you are relatively familiar with this game, but for those who aren't, it's your standard 2D classic Sonic fare. The main gimmick in this game is the ability to time travel to different time periods within each stage. So you got the past, the present, and the future. If you go into the past, as I'm doing here, you will be able to actually reach a robot generator of sorts. Wow, I got bounced by that Batnik. Nice. All right. You destroy that, you will automatically destroy all Badniks on the stage, and you will get a good future, as you see here. So you do that for Acts 1 and 2. Act 3 automatically becomes a good future as well. So the goal of this run is to get a good future in all the stages, which involves going into the past in each stage, hitting the robot generator, and just going right into the end. And for the most part, at least in the beginning parts of this run, the locations for the robot generators are relatively straightforward. They're mainly on the top part of the stage, so as we are just going to make it here. Uh-oh, I lost my time travel. Not a problem.
That stage is probably one of the harder ones to get with how we do it.
Yeah, but that's also a nice thing too about this run is that if you mess up, you can easily just exit the stage and come back. So it's very forgiving in that sense. All right, there we go.
Out with time traveling, you know, Sonikku here will be doing what looks like advanced strats. Like there, you're just trying to keep your momentum through the whole level and go as fast as you can. But there are places in every stage where, as a casual player, you can do the exact same thing much safer. And you'll actually be seeing one later on.
Yeah, there are definitely far more consistent strats that you can do that are still relatively fast in the run. Tidal Tempest 1, for instance, has a specific strat where you time travel just as you're fading into the future, but you get a past sign, so technically the game thinks you are going to time travel to the past. I don't know how to do it, so I'm not really going to go for it.
It's a very high-risk strat.
Yeah. Coming up into the boss here, as you can see, the level is generally much brighter, much happier. That's a good sign that you got a good future. In both Acts 1 and 2. The boss here, it's also relatively simple. You just get hit in the back, and you can do all 3 hits. There are some slight invincibility frames for when you score a hit, so you gotta make sure you just time your jumps correctly. And so, yeah, that's Palm Tree Panic as a whole. I was about to say Act 3, but that's in general.
That would still be factual.
All right, so coming up into Collision Chaos, it's a little bit more involved. You're going to see a little bit more interesting strats here. So I'm going to let Finalflame take over for just a bit. So take it away, man.
All right, so going through, we got the speed shoes. One thing to note about speed shoes, if you get them while you're in the present and you time travel with them, you will lose the effects of them. And that's kind of routed in a little bit. So we're grabbing the past signpost there, and he's doing a crazy jump, just jumping into that loop, jumping out of that loop, and landing right next to the generator. If he wanted to do that more casually, you could just fall down that loop into the spring and sit there and you will time travel. That's one of those more casual ways I was talking about, but it's much quicker to do it how he did. And so we got the generator, now we're just going back through the rest of the stage using, well, flight or tails. We want to fly.
All right, a 41. That's not too bad. That jump I did off the flipper is just to help keep my speed all the way to the end of the level. You generally start decelerating or moving or slowing down much slower when you're flying than when you're jumping, so that's just a little optimization that's done. But coming up into Collision Chaos 2 here, we're going to be going through the top and hitting this pass sign. And that's because the robot generator is also generally on the top here. We're actually going to be time traveling back into the present real quickly. We're going to get this future sign.
I really like how the time travel looks in this stage.
I almost thought I lost the time travel status right there, but okay.
So why did you time travel again?
Well, that's because we're going to be doing this trick where we just fly all the way to the end of the level with the speed shoes. So if you do a one-tap spin dash and go off of a slope or a ramp or what have you, the game will actually think you jumped. So you can just press jump again to start flying, and combine that with the speed shoes, you can fly all the way to the end. So there are instances where you will be using that, but that's probably the big instance right there. So coming up, we're heading into the pinball machine.
I didn't know we were playing Sonic's Pinball Party. This stage, when done right, looks pretty crazy. Like that. Getting it done super quick. You can spend forever and a day stuck inside trying to get to the top, especially if you're playing a Sonic.
It's awful. I don't like it.
There is RNG involved in getting hit by his balls, so he throws down.
Yeah, the bombs that that Robotnik throws down go in a random direction, so it's kind of hard to predict. Coming up, we have the dreaded Nope Slope. So let me see if I can get this.
Good luck.
Nope. Not a problem. You can just come back in the game.
One thing to point out, this category is timed in game time. So fortunately, quitting, a couple seconds in, back to the main menu, you're not losing a ton of time.
I almost didn't make that. Okay.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, we are going to go down here and get the pass sign and just run all the way to the right. But yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Something I wanted to point out is we had to do that bounce to get over the top of the level. You cannot fly up there. There's an invisible wall if you try and just fly up to it. But for whatever reason, you can bounce off an enemy and do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think the game recognizes you when you are in ball form, so... yeah, that saves quite a bit of time just trying to backtrack around, just meandering through the level. So, it's nice. Shoutouts to Flying Fox for discovering the more consistent strat that you just saw there. All right. Going into Act 2 here, this stage is actually relatively interesting because normally when you're in the present, there is a wall that you have to hit a switch to lower, but in the past, that wall is gone. So this is actually the only stage in the run where the route for all good futures is the same as any percent, because you also get to hit the robot generator along the way. So it's pretty nice. The only thing that you have to worry about is that there's a crusher at the very end. So sometimes you might get crushed. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Fingers crossed.
All right, there's a robot generator.
There is no checkpoint here.
Yeah, if you die, you have to start all the way at the very beginning of the level.
There are checkpoints in the level, we just don't come across them.
Oh, that was almost a sub 40, but 40.08, Not bad.
Pretty good, yeah.
All right. Tidal Act 3. Do you want to explain this one, or?
Sure. So there's two phases to this zone. The first is here's Robotnik. We have to hit him 4 times, and that'll trigger a door to open up into phase 2. And phase 2, we do it a little bit unintended, let's say. We're going to take this invincibility in here, and we're just going to wait. Robotnik's going to surround himself with these bubbles, which are supposed to clear enough to open a path for you to hit him. We're not going to do that. We're just going to swim on up and give him a nice little hug here once he becomes active. Because you only need 1 hit at that point, and the invincibility allows us to get that 1 hit.
So, did I mention that Tails is a little broken?
This game was not designed around Tails. This game originally was released in 1993, and this is the 2011 remake, which did multiple things, including adding Tails. Great addition, not designed around it.
Yeah, and you're gonna see a little bit more differences here. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. You gotta do a 3-tap spin dash to get the correct amount of speed to make our way all the way up so that we can land right on top of that robot generator. By the way, just to make sure you're all on the same speed, a tap's just referring to how many times I tap the jump button while I'm pressing down. So sometimes you're gonna want specific spin dash speeds to make it through certain levels. It's just a matter of like consistent setups. Like right there, that I did a 2-tap because if I have more speed, I'm gonna hit that spring. So, but otherwise, Quartz Quadrant just in general, I think is relatively straightforward. I'd say.
It's a nice chill zone overall.
Yeah, and I think this, more than anything, just highlights how great of a speed game it really is, in that it's not entirely like complicated or anything. It's relatively straightforward. There are no like zips or glitches like you would see in the original. There is a clip that we will be attempting in Metallic Madness, but other than that, oh, I missed the capsule or robot generator. There we go.
Fortunately,
I tried
not
to be
too hard
fancy.
to get back to it. Yeah, this game is kind of nice. It's relatively glitchless, and even the few things we do that people might call glitches, they're not major game-breaking ones like Sonic 3 Knuckles or Sonic 2, what you may think of.
Yeah, I would say that if you want to learn a classic Sonic speedrun, this is the game that you want to pick up. Like, especially the 2011 version, which I believe is on Steam. So, all right, we're gonna be making our way to the boss here. Relatively straightforward. You want to just make sure you keep the conveyor speed on the bottom going, so you don't want to really be pressing left all too much. So what I do here to avoid these bombs is just let go of right, and then once I have enough distance, I start holding right again and jump.
I feel like I should be standing up, just walking in place right now. Getting my exercise in.
Yeah, this is real speed running right here, so.
This
All
might
right.
not look too hard, but this truly is the calm before the storm, because Wacky Workbench is next.
Oh boy. So Wacky Workbench, it's a stage. And that's probably the nicest thing I could really say about it. Because,
That is true.
Oh, sorry.
That is true.
Yeah, the main thing about Wacky Workbench is that it's all about different cycles that you have to manage, especially like platform cycles. So, it's not entirely understood, but the fact of the matter is that they are relatively random. So it's more so just about like trying to react to what's on screen versus having a consistent strat to go off of. But we are going to be going down here.
One thing
And
to
just
point
flying.
out is you kind of got clipped in through that piston. That is very much intended, and it's actually required in the next stage. That wasn't a glitch or anything.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing that really messed with me when I was a kid trying to search for all these robot generators. It's because, like, you'd never think that you'd have to be there.
Yeah, but right there, that was the only path to the generator. Nice and hidden.
All right. With Tails, you can just fly through a lot of this stuff, so that wasn't too bad. Wacky 2. First things first, we're going to be doing a very quick spin dash jump because the pass sign is right at the beginning of the stage. So, not only that, but the robot generator right there is also at the beginning. So you want to do a spin dash and then just fly up. There is a small chance that the bouncy floor will not be bouncy for a few frames and you will lose that time travel status, and it's awful and I don't like it.
No one does. So you can see there, you can actually see the generator in the present. You can walk through it, but you can't do anything to it. You have to go to the past to destroy it.
Missed a few jumps, but hopefully that doesn't mess this up. All right, there we go. I love that strat so much. That's probably the only contribution or the only strat that I've ever actually contributed to this game.
It's one of the best ones because that area otherwise is a nightmare to do.
Yeah. I believe some folks have called it the Wonder Mega Jump or Wonder Mega Bounce. I've been calling it the Wacky Work Bounce.
I didn't know it had a name, actually.
Well, I'm trying to come up with more community names for things, all right?
I like it. What do we call this stage?
Terrible.
Oh, but do you want to talk about what you're doing here, or do you want me?
You can take over.
All right, so how this would normally work is you hit the boss, you wait at the bottom for rocks to fall down, you stand on the rocks, they shoot up, you jump to the next level, hit them again, you do it 3 times. But with this strat, which is horrible, if you get fast flight, you get like optimal flight speed really quick, you can actually land on the rock as it spawns, jump off it, and land on the next level so that you're not having to stand around waiting. It saves a ton of time, but it is a pain to do.
Yeah, I have a visual cue that I go off of that I use, but it's still not the greatest thing to go for. It's probably one of the hardest things in this game, honestly.
Yeah, and of course, it's deep into the run, and if you miss any of those, that's a huge time loss.
Well, now we're heading into Stardust Speedway. The nice thing about Stardust here is that the robot generators for both acts are relatively close to the beginning of the stage, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And now it's just a matter of making our way to the end. And the route here is relatively similar to the any % route. It's just going onto the top with the speed shoes, making our way to the end.
I don't know about you, but I really like Stardust Speedway, both 1 and 2. The stages just look so nice when done properly. They're super quick. You see the speed.
Well, I was going to actually mention Act 3, but...
Act 3 is Act 3.
Yeah, it is. It very much is. There's not really much to talk about here. It's really just a matter of, like, movement optimization. So I want to make sure I get this. Okay. That jump can be a little bit tight to try and get, but we should be good. There's the robot generator. Nope. Okay.
You don't want to go too far.
All right.
This part just looks sweet.
Ah, I didn't get it. That's fine.
Dang, so if you go quick enough and time everything right, you can basically go through that spring or dodge the spring, or I don't know, you just don't get stopped by the spring because of your speed, and it looks absolutely amazing.
I want to say that it works the same way as the other classic Sonics, where sprites don't really have collision until they actually appear on screen, but
that sounds right.
Yeah. Going into Act 3 here, we have the big race against Metal Sonic. And so the thing about the race in this version as opposed to the original is that in the original it is an actual like race that you have to do where you can actually save or lose huge amounts of time, but here it's more an auto scroller. Metal Sonic moves at a relatively fixed, or no, Metal Sonic actually rubber bands you, but the stage doesn't really progress until Robotnik actually makes it to the end because he moves at a relatively fixed rate. So all you gotta do is just hold right
against Robotnik. You just need to beat Metal Sonic, but you can to a point take your time.
Yeah, I just generally hold right here.
I think all speedrunners do that section a bit differently, and it's kind of nice.
All right.
Wow, you're a jerk. Poor Metal Sonic. Getting absolutely taunted.
Hey, that's what happens when you mess with the folks on Little Planet. I think that's the name. All right, yeah, as you saw, the screen didn't really progress until Robotnik made it to the end, so. All right, one more zone, Metallic Madness. There's not really a whole lot of randomness, it's just a lot of like small difficult things that you have to worry about, so just gonna do a spin dash jump right there. And then this time travel is relatively precise, but I got that. And then this is the only stage where we will be trying to attempt to do a clip. So hopefully we can get that. We're gonna be time traveling back into the present in a very specific way. But aside from that, I missed my jump. No worries, I can just fly. Tails is indeed the best character. Don't at me. All right, let's see. Can I get this? That might have been too late. So the idea would be to hit a monitor from underneath like that, and it will actually bounce you out of bounds.
Nice.
And you will be able to skip having to traverse around that wall. So it saves quite a bit of time.
And apparently is a decent window of opportunity.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Some folks do go to the right. I mainly go to the left. I almost got crushed there. That would have not been fun. All right, so the past is right on the top, right here. And there's conveniently a set of springs that you can get time travel status here. So we're gonna just do that. And I'm not sure how many of you folks had trouble as a kid trying to search for the robot generator in this stage, but you can just go in this tube, go into the left, and you're right there. I'm gonna wait here for a moment, just to be safe.
Avoid getting crushed.
Yeah.
And conveniently, we could just fly back up there to get into the tube because we're Tails.
Yeah, funny enough, if you're playing as Sonic, you will actually have to get crushed there because the only way for you to beat the stage relatively quick is if you time travel back into the future, since there's no pistons here to bounce you up. So you would have to go back to the beginning of the stage and get the future sign. So
It is a long stage, casually.
all right. And with that, we are on the final level. So Metallic 3.
Time to make that last good future.
I missed that. No worries.
That looked like you went through the spring.
Not a problem.
Avoiding the hit. I'm sure
Yeah,
you've never died to that, right?
Yeah, I think that's the only... funny you mention that. I think that's the only, like, bottomless pit in the game. I could be wrong, but... yeah, it's a nasty one. So we're going to be going for 2 hits here. Let's see if I can get this. Ah, yes! Got it!
Nice. That is actually pretty hard to get his tails.
Oops. All right. It's just a matter of getting these last few hits, just shortening these cycles. This next one, you want to stay in the center because that projectile always comes in from like a little bit, I don't know, it's a bit hard to explain, but the point is that staying in the center makes it come to you much sooner. So, and with that, time, by the way.
GG. That looked like a like a 23:38 or so.
Okay. Okay. All right. I will certainly take that. So, do I have time for shoutouts or?
Absolutely, you have plenty of time. That was like what? 7 minutes underestimate?
We're breaking the
We're
schedule.
smashing this.
All right. Well, first off, I want to mention shoutouts to the rest of the CD folks. Flying Fox especially. She has done so much work in this game, like finding strats, pushing this game. She was really the inspiration for me to actually pick this up. So kudos to her and best of luck on her run tomorrow. Of course, shout outs to the other Tails runners, Rafflemere, Finalflame. I'm trying to think who else. Shout outs to the CD community in general, in that there's an actual community, because there wasn't really much of a community back then. Especially back in 2016, and now we have a whole bunch of runners. So it's great to see this game finally get the attention it deserves. Of course, shout outs to Amber Cyprian here. I'm glad that they...
Hey, that's me.
I'm glad that they gave me an opportunity to run this. This is actually the first time I've ever ran this category in a marathon, so it's certainly been an interesting experience. And yeah, thank you all so much. I hope you all enjoyed that run. I believe up next is Sonic Rush. So
let me see. Yeah, it's gonna be Sonic Rush. So it's gonna be a bit of an abridged category in a sense. So it's Sonic. So like normally to get the best ending, you would do Sonic and Blaze's story, get all the Chaos Emeralds as Sonic. Blaze's Emeralds get collected through natural gameplay. But we're actually, because of how long that category is, we're actually just doing Sonic all stages plus Emeralds, along with the last story to show you what you get for getting all the Emeralds. So,
I'm sure it'll be good either way. Sorry
yeah,
to
it's going to be
interrupt you.
very exciting. No, you're fine. Like, that is absolutely fine. And also, I want to thank Finalflame for helping out a lot with the schedule and the games list as well. Man makes spreadsheets faster than I do.
I guess I just have experience with it.
Oh yeah, like I have experience with it too, but I'm super slow at it still sometimes. But like, definitely really appreciated your help along with Argic. But
Thanks for having me for that.
it is my pleasure. Thank you for offering to help out. And Sonikku, awesome run. For those of you who don't know, Sonikku and Flame and Flying Fox all raced the Beat the Game category with Tails for this game at GDQ 2020. Check out the VOD for that. So definitely look at that. And then tomorrow is the other Sonic CD run by Flying Fox, which is Tails All Time Stones. So that's also going to be a great one.
All right.
Like we've said, coming up next is Speedbreaker 55 with Sonic Rush. We will be right back after a short break, and just stay tuned.